call the meeting to order. I'll now turn the meeting over to Mr. Blaine Wiltshire. Him and Mr. James Hines are in charge of our invocation and pledge.
Thank you, Executive Bell. On behalf of me and James, we want to present Preacher Teddy Jones from Bluff Springs Church of Christ to lead our invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we are indeed thankful for all the blessings you give us. We're thankful for this group of men and women that serve this community, and we're thankful that we still are able and willing to come to you in prayer to ask for guidance before an important meeting as they discuss the business of this community. We pray that you would bless each and every one of them and their families and the decisions they make. We're indeed thankful for the blessings of living in Warren County and the beautiful scenery and the rich soil that grows trees for so many people, and the hard-working people that comes from that farming attitude, that you would continue to bless all those that live and work in this community, and especially those that work for this community, and those that teach our children, and those that take care of the law enforcement and safety and firefighting and all the things that go with that. We just pray that you would bless them and keep them safe in their day-to-day lives. This time of year we are mindful of your Son, Jesus Christ, and we're thankful for the life that came to this earth, and that he gave us an example and commands to live by, and we pray that we would share the gifts of mercy, the gifts of brotherly love towards each other in this season, that we would have compassion for each other and understanding, and above all that we would look for opportunities to serve each other as we serve you. We ask for your mercy as we're able to show mercy to others. In Christ's name, amen.
At this time, I would like to ask Constable Ed Formello to lead us in our pledge. Ed is a member of the Midway community and in his second term as constable for District 11. He also served as sergeant at the McMinnville Police Department Public Safety Unit. He has been with them for the past 7 years. In addition, Ed has worked with the THP at multi-jurisdictional checkpoints for the past 4 years. Ed and his wife Fran have lived in Midway for 32 years and have 3 children, 6 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. Ed's goal is to work with Warren County to get an auxiliary unit for the county that would help with non-certified tasks such as funerals and traffic control. This would free up certified deputies to handle more important calls as it does in the city.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks.
Thank you. If you would be seated. We'll now ask the clerk to call the roll.
Michael Bell,
Yes. Here.
Carl Bolden,
I'm here.
Carlene Brown,
Here.
Charles Dodson,
Here.
Randy England,
Here.
Steve Glenn,
Here.
Stephen Helton,
Here.
Brad Hillis,
Here.
James Hines,
Here.
Scott Kelly, Ron Lee,
Here.
Gary Martin,
Here.
Kenny Moffitt,
Here.
Cam Montgomery,
Here.
Casey Owens,
Here.
Gary Prater,
Here.
Chris Rippey,
Here.
Christy Ross, Scott Rubley,
Here.
Tommy Savage,
Here.
Donna Smith,
Here.
Philip Stout,
Here.
Cole Taylor,
Here.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Here.
22 present.
All right, at this time, I'll accept a motion to adopt our docket.
So moved.
Got a motion by Stephen Elton. Second by Michael Vale.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to remove item number 14 at this time. And
All right, we got a motion by Mr. Blaine Wiltshire to remove.
Second.
Got a second by Philip Stout. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed. So we will not be doing number 14.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we move special presentations up directly behind public comment, and also add into special presentation a general overview of the Armory.
Is that in form of motion?
Yes, sir.
Did I hear a second? Got a second by Blaine Wiltshire. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes 22-0. We will now move back to the original docket. All those in favor of the original docket say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Original docket passes. We've set our docket for tonight. We'll now have the reading of the minutes.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we dispense the reading and accept them as presented.
We've got a motion by Mr. Engel to dispense the reading of the minutes and approve them. Got a second by Mr. Dodson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes 22-0. Now we'll move into public comment, and the public comment we have is Dr. Wallace Bigby. I don't think Mr. Bigby's here tonight, but you do have on your desk the speech that he was going to give. So, with him not being here, we'll move into the special presentations. If Mr. Paul Sherrill would come forward. The first on the special presentation will be the recognition of our EMS. Mr. Ron Lee, would you like to get the plaque on the table? And if Preston Denning will come forward. Paul, do you want to say a few words?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. It is an honor here tonight to be with. And first, I'd like to say, well, I tell you what, these ladies put on a good meal tonight. We definitely appreciate that with some good food. Thank you very much, you ladies. But it is an honor to be here in Warren County as your state representative. I hope that we try to represent you in a good way, and our door is open to you. If you have something that we can help you with, feel free to do that. But here tonight to do this presentation here to your EMS, Warren County EMS, they have really done a good job for y'all, and we're trying to recognize them tonight from the state of Tennessee.
We really are proud of our EMS, and we appreciate you coming, Paul. And if Ronnie, if you want to say a few words.
Just a word or two. This was a long process. We go back several years ago. I've been affiliated with the safety committee when we had equipment problems and one thing and another, and we've worked on it and worked on it and worked on it with the help of this good court and spent money, invested. And we got a great crew. The young men and women that work with Preston are the core of this whole thing, and we've got some great paramedics and medics and EMTs. And we got challenges coming up in the future, and this court has always been very supportive, and I know that they'll do everything that we can all do together to continue to have a #1 service that the people of Warren County deserve. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Congratulations, Preston. Mr. Stephen Helton, now I'll turn it over to bring some people for the new armory to talk about the new armory.
If I could invite to the podium, Andy Milligan, he is the FMO, and then also David Hunter, which is the architect for our armory. They're going to give us a brief update. Of course, tonight we're going to be doing some naming of that armory, but this is separate and apart from that. But I asked them to come in and just give us an update of where we are with it, what they plan on doing with it, and when it's going to be open. So I'll turn the floor over to Mr. Andy.
Thank you, Commissioner Helton. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, it's an honor to be able to stand before you and discuss something that has been the center of gravity for the office that I'm privileged to lead for the past 6 years. Starting in 2015, when we were notified that we were going to be able to fund a new facility in Warren County, it's been a whole lot of focus for us to prepare to bring a world-class, first-rate facility here to the citizens of Warren County, and specifically to the soldiers of your Tennessee Army National Guard unit that's here in town. The facility is going to be a shining beacon up on the hill right next to the Ford dealership, and it is a showplace for us. We have the training space that the soldiers in your county require for the training that they do here when they're at home station. We have maintenance space behind the facility that provides the mechanics that are assigned to the unit space to work on their vehicles, something that they've not had in the current facility in place. We have the classroom space that is more than adequate for the 135 soldiers that are assigned here. We got parking space for everybody that comes to drill, so we're no longer using the side streets and the grass and everywhere else that we have. I've invited Mr. Hunter to address some specifics about the dimensions, if that's all right with you, Mr. Chairman.
That's correct.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Their National Guard standards, they roll down to us, are a little flexible, but they get approvals for a certain amount of a budget and sizes of things that basically, but we designed basically 2 buildings to serve their mission out there. One, the main Readiness Center building, which is the prominent building you'll see, and you do see now being built, constructed out in the front, which houses all of their administrative functions, a drill hall, and a lot of storage areas. That building is just over 32,000 square feet, has a 2-story area on one side, specifically on the south end where we have classrooms and administrative offices where most of the people will be housed there. And what you don't really see from the street is a tall glass curtain wall that faces due south, so it floods a lot of natural light throughout the office and most occupied spaces there. There's a large 5,200 square foot, we call it a drill hall, but it also serves as a space that can be used by the community for other events. It's attached to a commercial kitchen and some storage areas. There's another building in behind that's about 5,600 square feet, which is the maintenance building he was referring to, and that's really a training area for the people on the weekends to learn how to service and work on the vehicles that they serve, and from tracked vehicles and tanks and to just regular trucks and everything. And so about 30, like I said, so it's a little over 37,000 square feet in the 2 buildings there, as well as some storage space for some vehicles in behind that'll be inside of a fenced area. The building's going to be really clad in brick. You'll see 2 stories out there. It'll have some brick, and it'll have some metal panels, both in a white and a natural silver type color. Unique one-off design for them, like Colonel Milligan mentioned, that we wanted a true first-class building for the soldiers and for your community, and we've tried to give them an individual response to your specific site how we oriented the building to bring the daylight in. And the building will also be kind of related to that, a LEED certified building. So I don't know if your community has one of those yet, but the Guard definitely has those going around. It should reach LEED certification status. We hope. We don't ever know until we get to the end and they tally up all the paperwork, but we do believe that should be accomplished in this project as well.
Mr. Chairman, had privilege of speaking to General Haston yesterday, and he reminded me of the effort that this commission had previously gone through and to secure the land, and that is so greatly appreciated by the Tennessee Army National Guard, that they have the opportunity to be where everyone can see where the Tennessee Army National Guard is. And recruiting is the #1 mission for us, and we're right there where all young men and women who want to pursue an opportunity with the Guard can see our facility and can come out and join up and enlist. And we're very excited about the opportunity to be up on top. We are currently on schedule to be complete in June 2023. Sane Construction is working very diligently in this challenging economy that we currently have, dealing with delays in materials and delays of contractors being able to have personnel be on the job. But we are on track to be complete in June. We have the funding secured to purchase all the furniture for the building. So I would expect, all things considered, about August, September timeframe, we'll have a ribbon cutting on site. And we look forward to being able to bring all members of this commission to the facility and provide a behind-the-scenes tour before we do the official ribbon cutting. And I'll work with the chairman to line that up as schedules allow. So, Mr. Chairman, subject to any questions, that's our presentation for this evening.
Does anybody have any questions? If not, we want to thank you for your service, and we really appreciate the new armory at Warren County. I think everybody would be proud of the new armory when we get it opened up. And I want to thank y'all for taking time tonight to drive up here and inform us of how things are going.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll now move on to elected officials' department reports. Mr. Jim Cunningham at EMA will be the first up.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, you have my report, and if there's any questions, I'll try to answer them at this time.
Got a motion, Mr. Stout, to approve. Got a second, Mr. Cole Taylor. Is there any question of Mr. Cunningham? Being none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes 22-0. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Now we'll move to UT Extension Report. Ms. Hilda Lytle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and members of the County Commission. You should have a copy of our report in front of you. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to try to answer those at this time.
Got a motion by Randy England. Second by Mr. Dotson. Any questions? If there's no question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes 22-0. Thank you, Hilda. Mr. Preston Denny, we'll go to the EMS report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the court. You'll have a copy of our report. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Move to approve.
Got a motion by Ron Lee and a second by Michael Bell. Any questions?
I have one. Preston, what's going to be our number of calls for this year? I know it ends in
Yeah, we're going to be down just a little bit on our overall 911 calls. The transfers that we do, we're probably going to be up just a little bit from last year, but our overall call volume is going to be off just a little bit. We were at 8,400, a little over 8,400 last year, and we're probably going to be around 8,100 or 8,200 this year, so which is a good thing.
Any more questions? Being none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes 22-0. Thank you, Preston.
Thank you.
Congratulations, too. Now we'll move on to the Financial Department report. Mr. Justin Cotter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the commission, you have my report. I'll do my best to answer any questions at this time.
Motion to accept.
Got a motion by Mr. Scott Robley, a second by Stevie Glenn. Is there any questions for Justin? No question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes 22-0. Now we'll call Mr. Jim Dyer from the airport to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners.
You have my written report. May I answer any questions?
Motion to accept.
Got a motion by Carl Bolden. Got a second by Randy England. Anybody have any questions?
I do, Mr. Chairman, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, Mr. Dyer, how are we doing on our runway lights?
I'm glad you asked. The weather has been a problem, but lately it's been good, and the construction crew worked through the weekend. They are there at dawn, and they leave at dusk, so they're getting in every hour that they can. It looks like the weather is going to turn bad again on Thursday, so my guess is that they will work through Wednesday, and then they'll go home for the holidays, and they won't start work again until probably January 3rd.
When do you think it would be complete? End of January?
Well, when you say complete, what we're
I'm talking about the lighting part, I guess.
The runway, hopefully all of the aspects of the runway will be done by the end of January, and the runway can reopen permanently. They still will be working on the taxiway lights and some of the other navigational lights that do not require the closing of the runway. So we'll be back at full operation, and we'll all be grateful for that. So I'm thinking the end of January, the runway will be open permanently.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions?
Yes. What about the tree cutting? How's that going?
I have given proposed contracts to all of the homeowners who have agreed to do it voluntarily. They are now reviewing those contracts. I have one lady whose winters in Texas, and I haven't heard back from her, but my hope is that after Christmas I can get with each one of them a signed contract. As soon as we have signed contracts from all of the homeowners, we will put the job out for bid.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Jim, I want to commend you on your report. That is very thorough.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Best ever, I believe.
Any more questions? If not, all those in favor of approving the report, say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Thank you.
2-0. Thank you, Jim. We'll now move into committee reports. Budget and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Budget and Finance has nothing to report at this time.
Building and Grounds.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to give everybody an update. They have started on the clerk master's remodel at the courthouse, and we'll be voting on moving some more money for the security upgrades for here and the courthouse tonight on the docket.
Economic and Agriculture Development.
Economic and Agricultural Development has nothing to report at this time, except that our next meeting should be January the 3rd.
All right. Education.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to let you know that our next education meeting is actually planned for January the 10th on Tuesday at 5, and we are working on the final agenda, but our school board is having a workshop on that date and would like for us to meet with them and to give an opportunity for all of our commissioners to get, speak to each one of them individually and also review their agenda. So that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Financial Management, we have some budget amendments tonight. If they pass, we'll have a meeting tomorrow. So that's all Financial Management has to report. And Health and Welfare.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In addition to working on resolution number 23 that we removed tonight, I'm happy to say most of you know we have cleared some ground out there next to the current Warren County Animal Control and Adoption Center, and with the hopes that that will be a good potential site for an expansion. So anytime that you want to go out there and look at it, I would just give Sherry and the crew a call, and you can go out there and look at it and see what we're looking at. But at least right now, it looks like it might be a good spot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Highway and Bridge.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have nothing to report at this time. Thank you.
Legislative. Scott, you on legislative?
Christy, by the way, if those of you that don't know, had knee replacement surgery. She's in NHC doing therapy, and she's coming along, but she's suffering a lot of pain. But she should be back, and I'm sure she's not happy that she's not here, but we have nothing to report at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Policy and Personnel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met twice during December, and we discussed the possible walk-in clinics for the employees of the county, and also a fitness and wellness program for the employees. And we'll be meeting again after the first of the year to discuss these items. Thank you.
Thank you. Safety?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With the holidays the way they are, instead of us meeting on the first Monday night of January, we're going to go to the second Monday night, January 9th at 5 o'clock for our next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. County Correctional Partnership?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to add about our EMS, congratulations to them, but also to our Sheriff's Department, something that has hit. We got SRO of the month, Mr. Brad Myers, for his actions on the scene with the 16-year-old Leela, and credit for saving her life. So obviously we've got an amazing EMS and also Sheriff's Department team that are getting state awards, so that's sort of encouraging. Furthermore, we did have a meeting. Our current numbers at the jail, we've got 228 total. Females 37, male is 191 with TDOC at 16. We did tour the armory. Look forward to seeing where the future of that building is going to go. It's an amazing building, and we look forward to that. The radar trailer is being moved around. It was on Shells Ford Road. It's gone now. I'm not sure where it's at, so be looking for it. They're going to be moving that around. And if you have a specific area that of concern in your neighborhood, get with Jackie, and we can look at putting that radar trailer in, and that monitors basically the speed and how much traffic there is going down those roads. The doctor at the jail did turn in his resignation. So we will be addressing that along with some medical contracts tonight on the docket. We did approve a medical contract and send it on to full court. We'll be seeing that and discussing that tonight. Next meeting is going to be also on Monday at 6:30 at the jail, Monday the 9th.
Thank you. ARP review has nothing to report at this time. And we'll move into new business. Item number 1, resolution number 24 by Mr. Tom Savage.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On December the 2nd, the policy and personnel met with Captain Mickey Shelton and discussed this resolution, and Captain Shelton was a wealth of knowledge on this item, and we voted 4-0 with one absent in favor of sending this on to the full commission, and I'd like to put this in the form of a motion, and I so move.
Got a motion, Mr. Savage, is a second, Mr. Helton. Mr. Helton, do you have somebody who wants to speak to this?
Yeah, we've been working on this for a few months now, and I actually have a visitor with us tonight that would like to basically get us up to speed on why we're doing this, and so I would like to invite Mr. Captain Donnie Eli to the podium to basically give us a brief explanation of why we're looking at this.
Chairman, Commissioners, good evening. I got ties to this county. I have since I was 4 years old. I come out here with my dad to Walker Nursery because he's a landscaper, so I still come down with my dad every time I can. So I ain't from here, but I do love your county. But what I'm going to say tonight is a subject that's been kind of uncomfortable for a lot of people just because of what it is. But I want to speak to the same vein that Colonel Milligan was here earlier for. You guys are building a new armory. How are you going to keep that thing filled? We've lost over 1,000 soldiers in this state just due to this COVID vaccination mandate stuff. So the only motion I'm trying to have pushed tonight is have that rescinded, get your guys brought back in, get their pay back paid for them, get their benefits brought back on, let them have their insurance so they can provide for their families and continue serving this community. I've got 18 and a half years in, and it's all within this state, National Guard, Tennessee, whole way through. I've been down to Louisiana doing hurricane fights. When Waverly was hit with the floods, I was there in support of that, doing ops, which I don't know if you guys know what ops is, but for us, it's about 24 hours on, and that goes until the mission is done. I was there for the first 36 hours straight. There was no break. There was nobody else there. So I say that because we need people in this state. We need those guardsmen. We need those volunteers to take care of our community. I'm not talking about deploying anywhere. I'm talking about what we can do within this state. And that's where I need y'all's help. We've been fighting this thing since June 30th, whenever they said they were going to start pushing people out the door. They haven't really pushed anybody out the door. They just refused to allow our soldiers to come in and actually train. So we've got soldiers that have been paid by the government, paid by our state to go and train, yet they have to sit at the house and they can't come here to continue to do their job to serve their community. It's a travesty. It's a travesty. It's a waste of y'all's time. It's a waste of y'all's dollars. And I just put it on you guys to keep fighting for us, because I fought as hard as I can with as much as I know. And I was on the COVID mission the entire time. I could tell you guys statistics, data, anything that I've seen, but it doesn't matter. What matters is getting these guys back here, because at the end of the day, that's what this community needs, and I just need y'all's support. So with that, that's all I've got. Any questions?
Thank you. So basically what this resolution represents is it's a request to the governor to basically go back and relook at the COVID vaccine mandate. So there's really no, I want to make it clear that there's no true action here. It's a request, and the governor can take it as it is. So I just want to make sure that we're understanding of what we're doing here tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Savage.
Yes, sir. The U.S. Senate has passed a resolution to go ahead and do away with the mandatory COVID shots. But there's other things in this resolution that needs to be addressed too, right?
Yes, sir. And that's where we need to get our soldiers brought back in to be reinstated so they can continue training within their units, so that they get back paid for all the drills that they were forced to miss since June 30th. That is to get their insurance re-enrolled so that they have insurance coverage again. And we need to get the Attorney General to file a motion with other state Attorney Generals before any damage is done. And those are the things that we need. So that's where we stand. Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, these soldiers were sent home because they didn't want to take the vaccination. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Well, myself personally, I'm going to vote to support this because this is the way I see it. Nobody should be mandated to take any kind of vaccination they don't want to take. It's to each their own in my beliefs. You need to do what's best for you and your family. And if that's taking it, take it. If it's not, don't. But you shouldn't be sent home because you're trying to protect and do what's right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more discussion or questions?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We have a motion and a second. If there's no more discussion, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Michael Bell,
Yes.
Carl Bolden,
Yes.
Carly Brown,
Yes.
Charles Dodson,
Yes.
Randy England,
Yes.
Steve Glenn,
Yes.
Stephen Helton,
Yes.
Brad Hillis,
Yes.
James Hines,
Yes.
Ron Lee,
Yes.
Gary Martin,
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt,
Yes.
Cam Montgomery,
Yes.
Casey Owens,
Yes.
Gary Prater,
Yes.
Chris Rippey,
Yes.
Scott Ruble,
Yes.
Tommy Savage,
Yes.
Donna Smith,
Yes.
Philip Stout,
Yes.
Cole Taylor,
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change your vote? 22 yes.
Passes 22 yes. We'll move on to item number 2. We'll call on the chairman of Budget and Finance to present item number 2.
Mr. Chairman, this is an amendment to transfer some monies from nursing and salaries benefits to, basically what we'd be doing here is privatizing the medical services at the jail. This was actually tabled through Budget and Finance. It was approved through the County Corrections Partnership. And there have been some changes, my understanding, and I would defer that to Director Cotton, the requests that have been made from Sheriff Matheny.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, the one request that I had received for a change would be to reduce the line item for $399 to just $15,000, which would reduce the contributions to medical and dental services by $12,500, which would put it at $152,738. And that would be in order to continue using the contracted services for behavioral and mental health that we currently have in place. As far as the numbers at the bottom, I think the current recommendation from the sheriff would be to go with the lower tier option that was presented in the original packet that he received, which reduces the annual outlay for the service by about $50,000.
I have a motion that we approve this. Until we
I'll make
go to
that motion.
discussion. Got a motion by Stephen Helton. Do I hear a second? Got a second by Mr. Dotson. Now I'll ask for any discussion.
That's big.
Yes.
So we did see this in county corrections. We talked about it in length, and basically where we're at with our medical services in the jail is we're struggling to find nurses. We're struggling to keep those positions filled, and it's been ongoing now ever since Jackie took over the reins. And so this right here is going to help alleviate some of that. This company is in 35 different counties providing services. So what that's basically going to do is it's going to do a lot of synergy for that. It's going to combine their services that they're doing for all these other counties, and they're going to be able to bring that to Warren County. Also, as I mentioned in my report, we lost our doctor. He has turned his resignation in, and so now here we are again. Jackie's already dealt with trying to find a doctor to come out to our facility, and he struggles with that here locally. What this is going to do is this is going to tie into this company that has doctors available for us that will be able to come in and provide services within our jail. This is going to increase the level of care for our inmates. Now, some people may not necessarily care about that, but we got to keep in mind that these inmates are family members. Their brothers, their sisters, their mothers, their fathers, their siblings, daughters, and sons. That have all made bad decisions. We all could be in there, but one bad decision. And so we want to make sure that we're taking care of these individuals. The mental health is a huge part of that. And so part of the discussion that was made in county corrections was to do away with the cheer mental health and add that in or vice versa. So in this particular proposal, the cheer mental health is still in there. And after talking with a number of different people through the community, such as the public defender, they talk about how instrumental the mental health is and what they do. That they do. It would be a tremendous loss, I think, was their quote. And also to quote Mr. John Parton, I implore the county commission and sheriff to continue the funding for the cheer mental health. So with that, I think we need to do a little bit more research before we cut that. And so with this proposal, we're going to actually continue to have that in here. Within this proposal, it reduces liability. And Justin, you know this question's coming. I think you're going to defer it to the lawyer. My question to you, Justin, is the liability within this county. This company is actually going to cover $5 million worth of liability insurance. And so in the last 5 to 10 years, how many dollars have we paid out in liability or funding that we've settled in medical issues or something related to the jail?
Before I defer, I will say that the jail is the #1 liability exposure for the county, bar none. It is absolutely the largest, but I am going to defer to Robert to, because he's been involved with the suits more closely than I have.
Good evening. Director Cotton's correct. The jail is an absolute litigation attractor. There is liability just by its very nature. There have been a lot of cases at the jail for a lot of reasons. However, the #1 largest in terms of allegations and monetary amounts requested and the total settlements either paid or judgments awarded is in medical malpractice as a result of the jail. The largest lawsuit we've had, it was a settlement for $750,000 within the last 5 years. That single settlement dwarfs all other settlements or judgments that we've had as virtue of the jail. So it is an enormous amount of liability. The medical care of the inmates is, it's not just an ethical or moral consideration, it is a constitutional requirement. The jail is required to provide for the health care and well-being of the inmates, and we have to do it to certain standards, and if we fall below those accepted standards, we will end up having to write large checks. So I agree that the health care is of paramount importance, and it's something we need to focus on.
Thank you. Furthermore, just a few more line items here. It actually is going to help save us some money. Of course, here it looks like it's going to cost us a lot of money. And of course, all this right here is going to be within the sheriff's budget because he has money that he's moving around. But some of the things that is the savings is going to be, this company is going to be able to do the scrubbing of the bills. So basically, they're going to be able to argue that point to whatever the medical bill is to try to get those rates brought down. Our medical costs, as far as in medications, we're going to be able to be tagged into all these other jails, and our medical medication costs are going to go down. Trips to Moccasin Bend will be able to go down because we're going to be able to medicate those mental patients within our own facility. And then, like I said, liability. So with that, I'll sit down.
Got a question. If this passes tonight, how long would it be before this company come in and took over?
60 days. 60 days. There's another thing. The way this actually reads right now, the chair of mental health would be done until we do a budget amendment like Preston was talking about. It would have to be amended to this budget amendment right here, right now. You said it was still included in there. It's not, the way this is written. Wait a minute, because Carl's not had the floor yet.
Excuse me for not standing, Mr. Chairman.
That's all right, no problem.
Also, on this, I talked with Sheriff Matheny today, and he said that, if I understood him correctly, he's going to take out the request for the digital medical filing. So that will reduce this cost quite a bit too. It's like 20-something thousand?
23.
Okay, so, but this is still in this amendment. So this amendment really needs to be reworded quite a bit. Is that not correct, Justin?
Well, the clarifications at the bottom would be changed, but the line item transfers that we're doing, the actual amendment, the effect of the amendment would be the same. So instead of us leaving, where it says down here where we'd be leaving $195,000 in other medical charges for major medical, that number would go up by 4 months at $19.20 for the digital records, and then the difference, which is about $4,000 a month for the contracted services. So we would actually be, all the money we're moving needs to be moved anyway. But it just, the details in the bottom are not, will no longer be accurate if we make these changes.
But can we vote on that with it not reading accurate?
Yeah, the bottom is not legally binding, it's only the top part is. So it's, as long as everyone understands that we have modified the specifics at the bottom, which are just footnotes to the actual amendment. It's the actual amendment, the line item pieces at the top that are legally binding.
You're actually voting on that. You'll be actually voting on the amendment.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Hillis.
I may have misunderstood Mr. Helton, but the way I understood it, there was going to be a psychiatrist with this contract.
Yeah.
So originally, whenever we discussed it in committee, that was sort of the assumption. But after talking with the sheriff and the contract, they are not providing a counselor position. What they are going to do is they're going to be on the mental health aspect. They're going to be able to medicate. They're going to be helping on that aspect of it on a doctor side, not a counselor position.
So that. I was wondering why if they were doing that, why we still needed cheer.
It's at this point, we do not believe it to be a duplication of services. And so it is, there's separate line item there.
And the way I understood Justin, right now, the way it is, if we are not happy, we have, in a year, we can void this, right?
Yes, based on the contract, the preliminary contract that I saw today, it is a one-year agreement with options to renew. So yes, at the end of 1 year from signing, we would have the option to either renew or go somewhere else.
No.
Mr. Rippey.
Just a quick question. I may not be able to answer this tonight. So are we looking to get rid of Cheer doing this, or are we looking to keep them?
As it is right now, it's keep them.
Is there ever going to be an issue where we're going to try to look for something different? Like as a substitution? Or the reason I'm asking...
Well, I know that some of the things that they provide can be provided for free to the county. Okay, so what I would like to do is just do some research. I think there's some grants out there maybe to supplement the salary that Cheers to help us, down the line and to help out budget-wise.
That's what I was getting at. So if we look at that, okay. That was my question.
Any more discussion? Anybody? Mr. Savage?
Or one for the sheriff. Have you talked to any more sheriffs across the state that's comparable to Warren County that's using this service?
Yes, I've talked to Tim Fuller. He's the sheriff of Franklin County. He advised me that, and he's been sheriff for a long time, but he said, when it first, when things started moving this direction, these companies, he was hesitant about doing it, but he is with the same company that that has the bid, and he said if he knew what he knew now, he would have done it a long time ago. That it's saving them money, and it's the thing to do. I reached out to Chad Parton. He does not have this particular company, but he said it's great. A lot of sheriffs around, this is the big push. I mean, everybody, 33 counties with this particular company, but the majority of the sheriffs has outsourced their medical. And it just gives us a little stability. When my father was sheriff, he tried to do this, but it was budget issues that kept him from doing this. Sheriff Myers tried to do this too, and it was budget issues that kept him from doing this. And I think this gives us stability with doctors and nurses, and I think that we should do it.
Any more discussion? Anybody else want to talk before I let Stephen talk one more time? Mr. Prater?
Deputy Director Bob Bass, I mentioned it to him, and he said, pretty good idea. Thank you.
Just one more thing. Sorry, Stephen. Talk about Moxon Bend, because I did this field for a lot of years. It would actually reduce the trips to Moxon Bend, but Moxon Bend's still on the table, right? If we need it, it'll be like as needed.
Absolutely. It would just be able to, we'll have a nurse practitioner, what they was talking about, they'll be able to prescribe medication. So, if we keep Cheer Mental Health and they're contacting Cheer, or they contacting their doctors and they're prescribed this, we'll actually have somebody that'll be able to prescribe this medication and keep us from going to these facilities. So.
Thanks.
So just clarification, we need to amend this and add Cheer into this, correct?
What you would need to do, if I'm right, on $3.99.
Yes.
You would need to leave it where it is.
Yeah, well, you need to amend $3.99 to reduce the number that we would be transferring to 15,000.
15,000.
Because we had 65.
So move.
Okay.
All right, we got a motion to amend. And second by Mr. Prater. On this amendment, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll. Is there any discussion first? Anybody want to discuss what we're doing? Do you understand what we're doing?
Voting on the amendment.
Voting on the amendment only.
To remove so that we can keep Cheer Mental Health.
Reduce that, yeah. All right, call the roll.
Michael Bell,
Yes.
Carl Bolden,
Yes.
Carleen Brown,
Yes.
Charles Dodson,
Yes.
Randy England,
Yes.
Steve Glenn,
Yes.
Stephen Helton,
Yes.
Brad Hillis,
Yes.
James Hines,
Yes.
Ron Lee,
Yes.
Gary Martin,
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt,
Yes.
Kim Montgomery,
Yes.
Casey Owens,
Yes.
Gary Prater,
Yes.
Chris Rippey,
Yes.
Scott Ruble,
Yes.
Tommy Savage,
Yes.
Donna Smith,
Yes.
Philip Stout,
Yes.
Cole Taylor,
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change your vote? 22 yes.
All right, we got 22 yes. On your sheet, Mr. Cotton's fixing to read down what numbers will be on this sheet that we're voting on, because we'll be back on the original budget amendment now.
All right, so your 131 medical personnel, will be decreasing it by $114,878. We'll be decreasing Social Security, which is 201, by $8,788. We're reducing 204 pensions by $14,072. We'll be increasing medical and dental services by $152,738, and we will be decreasing $399 other contracted services by $15,000. So that is where the amendment now stands.
Does anybody have any questions on the amendment?
Line 340 one more time.
$152,738.
Is there any more discussion? Being no more discussion, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Michael Bell,
Yes.
Carl Bolden,
Yes.
Carleen Brown,
Yes.
Charles Dodson,
Yes.
Randy England,
Yes.
Steve Glenn,
Yes.
Stephen Helton,
Yes.
Brad Hillis,
Yes.
James Hines,
Yes.
Ron Lee,
Yes.
Gary Martin,
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt,
Yes.
Cam Montgomery,
Yes.
Casey Owens,
Yes.
Gary Prater,
Yes.
Chris Rippey,
Yes.
Scott Ruble,
Yes.
Tommy Savage,
Yes.
Donna Smith, Philip Stout,
Yes.
Cole Taylor,
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change their vote? 22 yes.
Passes 22-0. We'll move on to...
Mr. Chairman, this is related to this, but I just want to say that this was a budgetary item. I would like to see the legislative committee look at any budgetary items not coming straight from county corrections without being approved through budget and finance and/or financial management. I spoke with Christie today, and of course, it's going to be a little while before she's in pocket, but Scott's on that, I think. But I think they need to look at it, and anything budgetary should not come straight from a committee to full court. It should go through budget and finance so that they have, because on budget and finance, if you're sitting on that committee, when it comes to budget time and you're telling employees you don't have any money, you've got to show why. So I think we need to be able to weigh this out a little further.
You just need to take a look at your rules. That's what we need to do.
Mr. Chairman, the motion that the county corrections did make was to send it to budget and finance for their review, just FYI.
It does, but it sends it straight here, so we need to change that.
We'll move to item number 3. Mr. Ruble.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is GFFY 2223-18. We did not have enough money to cover the janitorial services at the health department, so we are moving $4,160. It passed respective committees unanimously, and I so move.
I got a motion, Mr. Ruble. Do I hear a second? Second. Got a second from Mr. Stout. Any discussion? From what I understand, Mr. Cotton said there was a bid awarded and there wasn't enough money budgeted for to fulfill the contract.
That's correct.
So that's what you're voting on. Anybody got any questions? If not, I'll let's call the roll.
Michael Bell,
Yes.
Carl Bolden,
Yes.
Carleen Brown,
Yes.
Charles Dodson,
Yes.
Randy England,
Yes.
Steve Glenn,
Yes.
Stephen Helton,
Yes.
Brad Hillis,
Yes.
James Hines,
Yes.
Ron Lee,
Yes.
Gary Martin,
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt,
Yes.
Cam Montgomery,
Yes.
Casey Owens,
Yes.
Gary Prater,
Yes.
Chris Rippey,
Yes.
Scott Ruble,
Yes.
Tommy Savage,
Yes.
Donna Smith, Philip Stout,
Yes.
Cole Taylor,
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change their vote? 22 yes.
Passes 22 yes. We'll move on to item number 4. Mr. Ruble.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is for drug court. Some of the funding that is under 435 office supplies was for an awards program that Mr. Price does for some of the people that are going through his class, and under office supplies, that's really not assigned in the proper place, so we are simply moving that to $599 other charges to better identify the intended use. It passed unanimously through Budget Finance, and I so move.
We got a motion, Mr. Rubley. Got a second by Mr. Welcher. Does anybody have any questions? All right. If you have no questions, we'll ask clerk to call the roll.
Michael Bell.
Yes.
Carl Bolden.
Yes.
Carleen Brown.
Yes.
Charles Dodson.
Yes.
Randy England.
Yes.
Steve Glenn.
Yes.
Stephen Helton.
Yes.
Brad Hillis.
Yes.
James Hines.
Yes.
Ron Lee.
Yes.
Gary Martin.
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt.
Yes.
Cam Montgomery.
Yes.
Casey Owens.
Yes.
Gary Prater.
Yes.
Chris Rippey.
Yes.
Scott Ruble.
Yes.
Tommy Savage.
Yes.
Donna Smith. Yes. Philip Stout.
Yes.
Cole Taylor.
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change their vote? 22 yes.
Passes 22-0. We'll ask Mr. Rubley another budget amendment, number 5.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is GFFY 2223-20. This is another drug court grant in the amount of $66,497. That is for the second half of the fiscal year. This is basically prorated. Next year, we should be receiving approximately $133,000 for the full year, but this is, again, just for 6 months. And as you see on the budget amendment where that is going, this is 100% pass-through money. It passed committees unanimously, and I so move.
Got a motion, Mr. Rubley. Do I hear a second? Got a second by Mr. Savage. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, it's all grant money. We'll ask clerk to call the roll.
Michael Bell.
Yes.
Carl Bolden.
Yes.
Carleen Brown.
Yes.
Charles Dodson.
Yes.
Randy England.
Yes.
Steve Glenn.
Yes.
Stephen Helton.
Yes.
Brad Hillis.
Yes.
James Hines.
Yes.
Ron Lee.
Yes.
Gary Martin.
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt.
Yes.
Cam Montgomery.
Yes.
Casey Owens.
Yes.
Gary Prater.
Yes.
Chris Rippey.
Yes.
Scott Ruble.
Yes.
Tommy Savage.
Yes.
Donna Smith. Yes. Philip Stout.
Yes.
Cole Taylor.
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change their vote? 22 yes.
Passes 22-0. We'll move on to item number 6. Mr. Rubley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. GFFY 2223-21. This is a 100% grant to purchase 2 motor vehicles for mental health transportation. This is to purchase the vehicles and equip the vehicles with the proper equipment. These will be 2 Dodge Durangos. They are coming off state bid, and I so move.
Got a motion. Got a second by Mr. Dodson. Any questions? If there's no questions, we'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Michael Bell.
Yes.
Carl Bolden.
Yes.
Carleen Brown.
Yes.
Charles Dodson.
Yes.
Randy England.
Yes.
Steve Glenn.
Yes.
Stephen Helton.
Yes.
Brad Hillis.
Yes.
James Hines.
Yes.
Ron Lee.
Yes.
Gary Martin.
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt.
Yes.
Cam Montgomery.
Yes.
Casey Owens.
Yes.
Gary Prater.
Yes.
Chris Rippey.
Yes.
Scott Ruble.
Yes.
Tommy Savage.
Yes.
Donna Smith. Yes. Philip Stout.
Yes.
Cole Taylor.
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change their vote? 22 yes.
Passes 22-0. We'll go to item number 7. Mr. Rubley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is sanitation grant. This is SFFY 2223-2. The sanitation department will be receiving $23,360 in solid waste grants. That is a 70-30 match. The county will be responsible for $10,440. That is to purchase 2 large sanitation bins. It also passed committees unanimously, and I so move.
Got a motion by Mr. Rubley and a second by Ron Lee. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll ask clerk to call the roll.
Michael Bell.
Yes.
Carl Bolden.
Yes.
Carleen Brown.
Yes.
Charles Dodson.
Yes.
Randy England.
Yes.
Steve Glenn.
Yes.
Stephen Helton.
Yes.
Brad Hillis.
Yes.
James Hines.
Yes.
Ron Lee.
Yes.
Gary Martin.
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt.
Yes.
Cam Montgomery,
Yes.
Casey Owens.
Yes.
Gary Prater.
Yes.
Chris Rippey,
Yes.
Scott Ruble,
Yes.
Tommy Savage,
Yes.
Donna Smith. Philip Stout,
Yes.
Cole Taylor.
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change their vote? 22 yes.
Motion passes 22-0. We'll move to item number 8, Mr. Ruble.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is for the ambulance service, AFFY 2223-2. The bid for the current remount for the box on the bus is over $25,000. So we are moving the $25,000 from medical personnel, Social Security, and pensions into motor vehicles to cover this shortfall. And I so move.
Got a motion by Mr. Ruble, a second by Mr. Anglin. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Michael Bell,
Yes.
Carl Bolden,
Yes.
Carleen Brown,
Yes.
Charles Dodson,
Yes.
Randy England,
Yes.
Steve Glenn,
Yes.
Stephen Helton,
Yes.
Brad Hillis,
Yes.
James Hines,
Yes.
Ron Lee,
Yes.
Gary Martin,
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt,
Yes.
Cam Montgomery,
Yes.
Casey Owens,
Yes.
Gary Prater,
Yes.
Chris Rippey,
Yes.
Scott Ruble,
Yes.
Tommy Savage,
Yes.
Donna Smith, Philip Stout,
Yes.
Cole Taylor,
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change their vote? 22 yes.
That's 22-0. We'll move on to item number 9. Mr. Ruble.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is for the school system, GPFY 2223-4. They are requesting that they move $145,000 from normal textbooks to 430 electronic textbooks, and $32,750 unassigned to that as well, bringing the total to $177,750. This is for electronic textbooks for their homeschool, what they call Warren Connect, and I so move.
Got a motion.
Second.
Got a second for Carleen Brown. Is there any discussion? If no one has any discussion, we'll ask clerk to call the roll.
Michael Bell,
Yes.
Carl Bolden,
Yes.
Carleen Brown,
Yes.
Charles Dodson,
Yes.
Randy England,
Yes.
Steve Glenn,
Yes.
Stephen Helton,
Yes.
Brad Hillis,
Yes.
James Hines,
Yes.
Ron Lee,
Yes.
Gary Martin,
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt,
Yes.
Cam Montgomery,
Yes.
Casey Owens,
Yes.
Gary Prater,
Yes.
Chris Rippey,
Yes.
Scott Ruble,
Yes.
Tommy Savage,
Yes.
Donna Smith, Philip Stout,
Yes.
Cole Taylor,
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change their vote? 22 yes.
Passes 22-0. We'll move on to item number 10, Mr. Ruble.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is for the food service budget, FSFY 2223-1, and once again, we are moving money from line items to cover rising food costs. This money in the amount of $301,000 will be coming from cafeteria personnel, unemployment compensation, USD commodities, and food service equipment. Once again, we keep facing these rising food costs, and we're having to transition money constantly, but I so move.
Got a motion by Mr. Ruble, a second by Mr. Kenny Moffitt. Any discussion on this amendment? If there's no discussion, clerk call the roll.
Michael Bell,
Yes.
Carl Bolden,
Yes.
Carleen Brown, Charles Dodson,
Yes.
Randy England,
Yes.
Steve Glenn,
Yes.
Stephen Helton,
Yes.
Brad Hillis,
Yes.
James Hines,
Yes.
Ron Lee,
Yes.
Gary Martin,
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt,
Yes.
Cam Montgomery,
Yes.
Casey Owens,
Yes.
Gary Prater,
Yes.
Chris Rippey,
Yes.
Scott Ruble,
Yes.
Tommy Savage,
Yes.
Donna Smith, Philip Stout,
Yes.
Cole Taylor,
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change your vote? 22 yes.
Passes 22-0. We'll now call on the chairman of Building and Grounds to give Mr. Ruble a little rest.
This is to take $70,000 out of the bond fund and add it to the already $75,000 that we'd put aside for the upgrades of the security at the administrative building and the courthouse. Our bids come in a little high. We had one company that was local that was going to reuse some of the existing equipment and use some cameras that was not government, met the government specs. So we went with the second highest, and there's been some more details come if Mr. Britton wants to come talk to them, but I'll make this in the form of my motion.
I've got a motion, got a second by Carl Bolden. David, do you want to address a little bit of it?
Well, one of the things that when the original bids came in, we were confident that one of the bids was a misprint. And by the time we got to go back and clarify that with the company, they were well over $200,000 to put the bid in. So we've kind of disqualified them. And the warranty of the company that we've chose to go with is kind of middle of the pack, 3 and 5 years, with virtually no annual cost coming back to this group. So that's going to help us quite a bit as we move forward.
Does anybody have any more questions?
And the name of the company is?
Bank Pack.
Anybody have any more questions?
Mr. Chairman, that I may have not heard that correctly, but David, did anyone mention the fact we're going from a 1-year warranty to a 10-year warranty with this, correct?
The 10-year warranty was the company that was over $200,000. The warranties with Bank Pack was kind of middle of the road, 5 years on cameras and 3 years on all access control points.
Anybody? Mr. Dodson?
I'm new here, so you're going to have to fill me in, brother. I know we're going with cameras, but what else are we going with?
Well, it's really going to be camera upgrades in both buildings. It's also going to be access control. The courthouse is quite a bit ahead of this building as far as perimeter doors being locked down. We're also looking to put card readers in on every main office door, so we'll eliminate the hundreds of keys that are floating around the community. So it'll go to a card access where you can instantly give somebody access and instantly take somebody out of the system if we have to do that. So it'll be much more secure. We'll have data recordings of every time the door is opened, at what time, so that'll help us tie back to our camera process to identify who went in a given location at a specific time.
Anybody else have any more questions?
He can explain the cards a little bit more too. It records who's here. If you have special events, you can have a one-day card. And
right. It'll give us a lot more flexibility. We'll also be able to monitor the perimeter doors at night. You know, if we have a community event that's supposed to be over at 8, then we can lock the doors down at 9. And they're motion sensor based, so that if any movement takes place inside the building, after that time, we get a notification that there's movement and something that we need to check out. So.
Anyone else have any more questions? Carly?
Who's going to monitor the cameras?
I have no earthly idea. The interesting part about, I mean, that's a detail that
Mr. Hillis has got his head down.
Well, you know, it's going to be a fairly easy process because you can get notifications on our phones. So there's 3 or 4 different ways we can set it up. There can be multiple people that has access to monitor. So it's really just one of those details. The bid has got all the flexibility in it for us to set it up any way we want to. So that decision is still left to be made based on approval to move forward.
Mr. Britton, if there's an occasion that we needed to lock everything down, will there be a method of doing that?
There will, yes. Two different approaches, because the courthouse has security officers on site at all times. And so the monitoring system there is a little different from here, but we will have the ability to lock down the building. We won't have the ability necessarily to lock down each individual door, but you know, and also to clarify, what we're doing is giving card reader access, one entrance door in every department. So some of the departments, it's got multiple doors. There'll only be one door that all the employees will enter through, and then they'll have to open another door that maybe the public is coming through from the inside.
And also at the meeting, one of the things was it would have a motion detector in case somebody slipped in the building and like hid and came out after everybody was gone.
That's
It would
correct.
also set that off.
That's correct. If a mag lock doesn't lock adequately, we would get a notification that a door has not been locked down, as well as any movement inside the facilities.
Anybody else have any more questions? If not, we're voting on the bond money to increase the security. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Michael Bell,
Yes.
Carl Bolden,
Yes.
Carleen Brown,
Yes.
Charles Dodson,
Yes.
Randy England,
Yes.
Steve Glenn,
Yes.
Stephen Helton,
Yes.
Brad Hillis,
Yes.
James Hines,
Yes.
Ron Lee,
Yes.
Gary Martin,
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt,
Yes.
Cam Montgomery,
Yes.
Casey Owens,
Yes.
Gary Prater,
Yes.
Chris Rippey,
Yes.
Scott Ruble,
Yes.
Tommy Savage,
Yes.
Donna Smith, Philip Stout,
Yes.
Cole Taylor,
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change their vote? 22 yes.
Passes 22-0. Now we'll turn it over to Mr. Ron Lee, number 12.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is some bookkeeping we need to do. Our terms for two of our 911 board members are up, and we need to renew Mr. Mark Gribble and Mr. Jerry Womack at this time.
Put that in form of
And I
motion.
so move.
I got a motion by Mr. Lee and a second by Mr. Glenn. Any discussion? If no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, pass 22-0. We'll move to item number 13, the audit committee appointments. Mr. Scott Ruble.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are two seats available or vacated on the audit committee. Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend Christy Ross and Kenny Moffitt, and I so move.
We got a motion by Mr. Ruble. Do I hear a second? Got a second by Mr. Stout. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Ross was contacted, and she is willing to
She's
serve, so
willing to serve.
we wanted to make
Okay.
sure.
Thank you. If there's no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, pass 22-0. We skip item number 14, and we'll move on to item number 15. Mr.
All right, this is resolution number 25-2022. A resolution requesting that the new National Guard Armory building to be constructed in Warren County, Tennessee, be named in honor of Major General Terry Max Hastings. We have a resolution that we're going to pass tonight, and also in your packet there is a letter to Governor Lee that Executive Bell has proposed, and it also will be sent to Janice Bolin and Paul Sherrill and the Adjutant General of Tennessee National Guard, Jeff Holmes, and I'll make this in form of a motion.
Got a motion? Second. Got a second by Mr. Ruble. Got a motion by Michael Bell and a second by Mr. Ruble. Any discussion about this? About naming the Armory after Mr. Hastings? If there's no discussion, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Michael Bell,
Yes.
Carl Bolden,
Yes.
Carleen Brown,
Yes.
Charles Dodson,
Yes.
Randy England,
Yes.
Steve Glenn,
Yes.
Stephen Helton,
Yes.
Brad Hillis,
Yes.
James Hines,
Yes.
Ron Lee,
Yes.
Gary Martin,
Yes.
Kenny Moffitt,
Yes.
Cam Montgomery,
Yes.
Casey Owens,
Yes.
Gary Prater,
Yes.
Chris Rippey,
Yes.
Scott Ruble,
Yes.
Tommy Savage,
Yes.
Donna Smith, Philip Stout,
Yes.
Cole Taylor,
Yes.
Blaine Wiltshire.
Yes.
Anyone want to change your vote? 22 yes.
Passes 22-0. We'll move to item number 16, approval of the notaries.
This is the list for the notaries. Amanda Dudziak, Donna J. Gross, Colton McClanahan, Matthew W. Ritchie, Tara G. Crow, and Regina R. Redmond.
Got a motion by Randy England, second by Tommy Savage. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right. Under announcements, I hope you enjoyed your meal tonight. You can thank, what? Well, I was going to go around the room in the commissioners. So is yours next month, Randy? But I want you to thank these ladies back to back, my wife and Lana and Sarah. And I wish you would continue to keep Christy Ross in your prayers. She is in NHC recovering from knee surgery. And so we hope.
Executive Dale, Scott Kelly's also got the flu.
Okay.
And remember him also.
Keep him in your prayers too, then. I wasn't aware of that.
We need to keep the family of Mark Griffith. He served as a deputy for about 25 to 30 years, so served as constable. He passed away Saturday. I think the services is tomorrow or Wednesday. Just keep his family in prayer.
All right. Does anybody else have anything?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, and I'd like to make a motion we adjourn.
I've got a motion to adjourn, and Brad Hill the second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.